Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're breaking down the full card of Moreno versus Erceg. 13 fights on this card. First up on this card here, we've got Hubbard versus MarQuel Mederos. With this matchup here, Austin Hubbard's been he was in the UFC before, got cut, then came back. He is also coming off a loss. It was a split loss against Hernandez. Had a win before that, Michael Figlack. He's more of a guy that will pressure forwards with his striking. Does absorb a lot of fucking shots too, so he's not the greatest at his defense striking, so he does get tagged up a fair bit. Also does try to mix up his takedowns as well, so if he doesn't get his takedowns, I've noticed he does struggle there on the striking a bit. And going against someone that's new to the UFC like MarQuel Mederos here, he's coming off a win against Landon Kinwas. I think Landon Kinwas was on Ultimate Fighter, I'm pretty sure. I think it was Ultimate Fighter. It was one of the shows. I've seen him on there. But yeah, he had a win over him. And Mederos did decent against Landon here as well. As like he was Landon was more pushing forwards with his striking, and Mederos did pretty good with his defense to get out of the way. And was throwing a bit of low output, but yeah. And then I noticed Landon started slowing down there in the second and third round, and MarQuel was taking over with his striking as well. So yeah, so he did well there. He's definitely got the cardio there as well. And I do realize Hubbard can tire as well over the rounds. So I think it's going to be one of those fights where I think MarQuel will be smart using his defense early on and then picking his shots over the rounds, because Austin Hubbard does, I feel like, get tired over the rounds there. And Mederos has got decent takedown defense as well, so, and he's got the hand speed as well in this matchup. So I'm gonna go with MarQuel Mederos here. I feel like the younger guy and the cardio, and the takedown defense is there. So I feel like Austin Hubbard will be trying to shoot for takedowns, and he will fail against Marcus Mederos. So Mederos 87%, 13% Hubbard. The Mederos is a pick here. Next up, we got Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. This matchup here, Jamall Emmers, very tall guy. He's definitely got the reach as well in this matchup. So no, wait, they're both the same height. Both are pretty tall guys, but yeah, Jamall Emmers and Miranda are pretty tall guys. But I feel like Jamall Emmers' striking is a lot better than Gabriel Miranda. I don't really rate Gabriel Miranda striking to all that. Jamall Emmers is more of a guy who will throw a lot of leg kicks on the outside, use a jab, well, a lot of straight shots. Like, he was doing well as well against Nate. Like, he did hurt Nate in that first round, and then I think it was an uppercut, right? Yeah, uppercut, he got hurt, and then he kind of dropped, and then finished by the hammer fist at the end there. So he did well in the first round. He does have decent striking, but again, like, not the best head movement. His chin is up pretty high too. He kind of ducked into the uppercut as well. So before that, had a win against Dennis Bazooka, KO, and had a loss against Jack Jenkins. That was a pretty close fight too, but Jack Jenkins, there was a bit of grappling there involved too on the ground. So that was a close fight. So Jamall Emmers, he's a decent fighter. He's 35 years old, pushing to 36. So it's a decent matchup. He's definitely going to be the better striker than Gabriel Miranda on the feet. Gabriel Miranda's not that great. He is coming off a loss himself against Morgan Sharo. Like, he got pretty much knocked out with a left hook there. And I think he fought against Benwood. Benwood to St. Denis as well. So he had a submission against Shane Young. Shane Young's passed it. Yeah, there you go. He got knocked out by Benwood at St. Denis. Gabriel Miranda, he's not the best striker, but he's more of a guy who will try to get this fight on the ground, uses grappling. Very good in setting up submissions, so that is his bread and butter. Try to get the fight to the ground and set up submissions. So, I think he's gonna get knocked out in this fight. To be honest, I think Jamall Emmers will get him out of there, and not let this fight to the ground. So, Gabriel Miranda, I don't rate his striking at all. He's just chins up in the air, and defense is not that great too with the striking. So. Yeah, not the best of strikers. So Miranda 17%, 83 Emmers, and I'm gonna go with Jamall Emmers as well. And I do think that there's a high chance of a KO too by Emmers in that matchup. The Emmers is a pick there. Next up, we got Melquizael Costa versus Christian Rodriguez. Costa is coming off a win not long ago, about 2 weeks ago. I picked Philly in that fight because I didn't think he was gonna fucking go for a takedown and get submitted by a guillotine like that. He looked pretty, yeah, he looked pretty average out there for Andre Philly against Costa. I thought he would have just kept it on the striking and used a lot of leg kicks and his jab well, but no, he shot for a fucking takedown. So for a veteran like that, I think the IQ just wasn't all there that night. So Mexico Costa's, he's decent striker as well himself. Stays on the outside though, low kicks. He does target that body as well with the leg kicks. Also looking for counters. He's got some decent grappling and very good in setting some submissions up. He does get taken down in some of his fights as well. Going against someone like Christian Rodriguez. Rodriguez is more of a forward pressure guy. Will use his jab and the straight shots and throwing combinations. Likes to trap, get his opponents against the cage and throw a lot of combinations. Also mix his grappling there. He's more of an anti-grappler, to be honest. He doesn't really try to get the fight to the ground. He would more defend takedowns than anything. But yeah, he's also decent at setting up submissions too, Christian Rodriguez. He did have that nice little upset win over, who was it? Raul Rosas Jr. That I didn't see coming. A lot of people didn't see coming. He had a win over Cameron Saimon. I think Saimon's coming back to the UFC. Isaac Dalgarian, a lot of people thought it was a bit of a robbery because Dalgarian's got some really good wrestling himself as well, and then had a loss against Orosa, which I didn't expect him to get fucking choked to be submitted by guillotine choke by Orosa of all people. But Orosa is underrated. He's got very underrated jiu-jitsu as well. So, but yeah, he's more of a veteran. Definitely had the better IQ that day. So he had a win against Austin Bashi as well. Bashi wasn't just couldn't stand with Rodriguez on the strike and try to do all the best he could to get the fight to the ground, use his takedowns and whatnot, and Christian Rodriguez did well to keep it on the feet and outstruck him. So I think it's one of those things, like, I think as long as Christian Rodriguez closes the distance and doesn't let Costa stay at range and throw kicks and the body kicks and try to close distance and turn it into a bit of a dirty fight, and not try to get this fight to the ground. Probably could get the fight to the ground, use some grappling there. So, but yeah, I think he's going to be the better striker. But again, like, you just got to close that distance and turn it to a dirty fight. Can't stay at range and let Costa pick him apart with the leg kicks and the body kick. So I'm going to go Christian Rodriguez. It is a 50-50 matchup. 57% Rodriguez, Costa 43%. So Rodriguez is a pick here. It is a bit of a low confidence pick, because I do think this is definitely a 50-50 fight. Next up, we've got Rafa Garcia versus Vinc Pichel. Rafa Garcia here, he's alright. I don't really rate him too well, to be honest, as well. He did have a little bit of a win streak here, my shot, and then fought a washed up Clay Guida, and then ground and pounded by Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson had his way with the grappling and the takedowns and controlled him, and then finished off the fight with a ground and pound. So Rafa Garcia, he's more of a striker, but very low output, more so push forwards and look for counters, throw some leg kicks here and there. But nah, it's just, I don't really, he's not the best. He's not really that entertaining. A lot of his fights do go to decision. So going against someone like Vinc Pichel, he's getting worse. Like, if you saw his loss against Madsen, he did have some, like, at least some decent hand speed in that fight. But in his last fight against Bonfim, he looks so slow. He's definitely past his prime. Madsen fight, he was taken down. I don't know where Madsen's gone to be. Mark Madsen's gone, to be honest. But yeah, Vinc Pichel is 42 years old. He looked very slow in the last fight. He's more of a guy that pushes forward, uses striking, but it absorbs a lot of shots to himself. So his defense is not that great. Was taken down, like I said, in the fight with Madsen, and his last win was against Austin Hubbard long time ago. So if he loses this fight, he's got to get cut, man, because Rafa Garcia is not the best as well himself. Very low output. So Garcia 94%, 6% Michelle. Garcia would definitely most likely will have the hand speed and the better counters in this one. It's not going to be the most entertaining fight on the card as well. So Rafa Garcia is a pick there. Next up, we got Julio Polastri versus Lupita Godinez. With this matchup here, Julia Polastri is coming off a split win against Corey McKenna there. Had a loss against Josephine Kanatskin. I think Kanatskin's not in the UFC anymore. I'm pretty sure she's going to the GFL. I don't know why. But yeah, it is what it is. Look, Julia Polastri, striking is okay. She's more of a push for a striker. We'll throw some leg kicks and use some combinations. More so try to pressure opponent against the cage and use a grappling, a lot of clinch fighting there too as well. So knees and elbows, and she does pretty well as well. When she does get the fight to the ground, she does well controlling the opponents as well. Use some ground and pound. She did have some decent moments there against Josephine Kanatskin on the ground there. But yeah, striking wise, more not the best, but yeah, she does well to pressure forward and yeah, throw a lot of combinations, but defensively can get tagged up as well. Lupita, I feel like Lupita Godinez is going to be better in the boxing and very good at controlling the range. She uses a jab well, and does some decent low kicks, but she's also had some issues with in the clinch, and when the fight hits the ground, she does have issues there with the grappling. Yeah, like Mackenzie Dern had her way as well, getting the fight to the ground. Verna had the fight, took her to the ground, and she had some issues there as well. So Lupita Godinez, it's a bit of a skeptical one. Like Tabitha Ricci as well as a split. So yeah, and Elise Reed and Emily Ducato. Fight can go either way. I think a lot of people are looking over Polastri here. I think Polastri would definitely use a clinching, a lot of grappling the clinch there and try to get the fight to the ground. It is I feel like the fight will be a lot closer than what people think. A lot of people are going 84% with Godinez, but 16% Polastri. I think they're overlooking Polastri here a bit as well. So it is definitely 50-50 fight. I don't know. Like, I like to go with Godinez here, but I'm just really skeptical as well on how she's going to go there on the ground. So I don't know. I will go with Lupita Godinez because more so she's very good at controlling the range and uses a boxing well. But again, I could see her losing this fight too. So I just feel like there's going to be issues there on the clinch and on the ground game there. So look, I'll go with Godinez here. It's definitely a low confidence pick. I feel like there will be a bit of an upset win here against Julia, with Julia Polastri getting this fight. But again, it's a low confidence pick. So Godinez is a pick there. Next up, we got Ateba Gautier versus Jose Medina. Ateba, he is coming off a win again in the Contender Series, got a knockout there. Going against someone like Jose Medina, Ateba's more of a striker, to be honest as well. He's got a lot of knockouts on his record too. Had some decent takedown defense in that fight too in the Contender Series. So he does a lot of uppercuts too from what I've seen. So he definitely has some power in his hands. And going against someone like Jose Medina's not the best, to be honest. Like, striking wise, I don't really rate it. It is very awkward, his striking. And he's coming off 2 losses there, one against Magomed on Contender Series and lost to Zachary's. And he gets taken down a fair bit to Medina, so takedown defense is pretty fucking trash too. So not a very good striker, does absorb a lot of striking when he does push forward. Yeah, also gets taken down a lot too. So I don't really rate him. I don't really think that he's UFC caliber. But again, Ateba has more so got to prove himself where he stands in the UFC as well, because this is going to be his first debut UFC fight. I do think Ateba is going to pick Jose Medina apart on the stand-up there. And it's more of going to be a strikers matchup here. I don't think anyone's going to be shooting takedown. Maybe Jose Medina will try to shoot a takedown. But again, he probably will fail, because he's not very good in setting it up either, and he gets taken down himself. So good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Ateba here. I don't think there will. Oh, there might be a KO, because Medina's chin is pretty high up too. He doesn't have the best head movement. So I'm going to go Ateba here. KO, yeah, could be on there. But he's definitely going to get the win. So 94%, 6% Medina. I'm going to go Ateba here as well with a win. Next up on the prelim here, Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Edgar Chairez here is coming off a loss against Joshua Van. That was a war back and forth. And Daniel Licata, he had a submission win there. lost to Tatsuo Tara, but he did give Tara some problems in that fight too, and he was a late notice on that one. Chara's was. So he's very good at throwing some leg kicks, like really heavy leg kicks. He batters that leg, the legs of his opponents. Uses jab well too, a lot of straight shots. So you can see he's a very entertaining fighter there on the striking. Does get taken down at times, but he does well to set up submissions. But if he doesn't, he does have some issues getting up there on the ground. So yeah, so he can give away some rounds when he does get taken down, and he has had some issues on the clinch in there a bit too, from what I've seen. Going against someone like CJ Vergara's he's alright. He's not that great. Last win was against Vinicius Salvador. You know, he was down the outside there throwing leg kicks, more of a point fighter. Uses looks for counters as well. And other than that, I don't really rate him too well, to be honest. Like he's definitely not going to be I don't think he'll be up there with the top opponents. He has struggled, CJ Vergara. Like even that fight against Asim Albabayev, he was taken down a fair bit. Tamerov, he got knocked out. So I think Edgar Chairez is going to be a lot better in this matchup here. And I think he uses range a lot better here compared to CJ Vergara. I think Vergara will kind of have some issues there on the inside, but he would try to stay on the outside and try to pick Chairez apart with point fighting, but I don't think it's going to work. I think Chairez is definitely going to have the power as well in his hand and turn this fight into a dirty fight. We could see CJ Vergara having a lot of issues too on the striking there. But yeah, so Chairez there, 91%, 9% Vergara. I don't think Vergara's going to win this fight at all. No, I think Edgar's going to turn this into a dirty fight. So Chairez is a pick there. Next up, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. With this matchup here, Raul Rosas Jr. is coming off a win there. I can't pronounce the Arakeling. He did well against him. Stay on the outside, throw a lot of leg kicks, use some counters, and he had some decent grappling as well. But he showed that he can definitely strike and you know, stay at range and not get caught in a firefight there. So he was pretty smart with using his IQ there, Raul Rosas Jr. So all hands to fails with grappling and his wrestling, he will stay at range and throw a lot of leg kicks and use his jab. Switches stance a fair bit as well, from what I've seen. Gives different looks down the striking. With this matchup here going against someone like Vince Morales, Morales is going to be pressure striking. He's going to be trying to get into Raul Rosas Jr.'s face. Throw combinations. His defense is not that great too. He's coming off 2 fight losing streak as well. One was short notice, I'm pretty sure, Taylor Lapius. And then Elijah Smith there, he was getting picked apart by him. So look, Rosas Jr. just can't get into a fight with Morales, so he's going to get dropped. Morales will, like I said, he will take a lot of punches as well to try to close the distance. He would try to get Raul Rosas Jr. out there, so he's a bit of a dog there when it comes to try to turn this one into an ugly fight. So Morales could give some issues here with Raul Rosas Jr., but yeah, I think Raul Rosas Jr. is gonna have to grapple here and try to figure out. I think he will get this fight to the ground. Morales has been taken down a bit there in his last couple of fights. I think he would wait for Vince Morales to overextend on his combinations and try to set up some takedowns or get some trips for from the clinch as well. So I think he will get this fight to the ground. Morales does overextend on his combinations as well, but he will be looking to get Raul. If Raul Rosas Jr. can tighten up that defense and not get caught in a firefight, then he'll be alright. So a lot of people are overlooking Morales again, so it's definitely 50-50 fight. He does have a chance, Morales, but again, his defense is not that great. So I'm gonna go with low confidence pick here with Rosas Jr. 93%. So yeah, Raul Rosas Jr. is a pick there. Next up, we've got David Martinez versus Saimon Oliveira. With this matchup here, David Martinez is more of a striker. He's coming off a win against from the Contender Series against Xavier Franklin. So he's another guy who will stay on the range and throw a lot of heavy kicks, uses jab well, and look for counters. So This one's going to be probably on the stand-up here because Saimon Oliveira is not that great. He had a win against José Aldo a long time ago, almost 4 years ago, been coming off two losses there. Tony Gravely is probably not even in the UFC. I've never heard from him for a while, so I don't know where he is at. He most likely would have got cut by now if it's been 3 years, right? So he was taken down by Tony Gravely a lot. Saimon Oliveira controlled a lot. All 3 rounds he was taken down, and he was gassed. Like he didn't look well there on the gas tank. Daniel Marcos as well. He didn't try to strike with him. He tried to grapple with him, and Marcos went, "All right, man, I'm just gonna knock you out." So he got picked apart there with Daniel Marcos there on the stand up. So Saimon Oliveira is more of a guy who throws some leg kicks himself, but more push forward instead of controlling the range. But yeah, it does get tagged up a lot, and his chin's up in the air. So I think David Martinez is gonna find that chin and knock him out, to be honest. So David Martinez is more gonna be a guy looking for counters and controlling the range on this matchup, while Saimon Oliveira just pushes forward and not very good with his defense. So Martinez is a pick here, 96%, 55 on KO. I definitely do see a KO on the card. Oliveira 4% because this is more of a match UFC setting up Martinez to win. Next up, we've got Kelvin Gastelum versus Joey Pyfer. With this matchup here, Kelvin Gastelum is coming up a win against Rodriguez. He didn't look that great himself, to be honest. He does look like he's on the arse end of his career. Yeah, other than that, he's had an up and down career. He's gone to welterweight, come back. It's fucking all over the place, man. A loss against Brady, taken down and controlled. Chris Curtis had a decision win there. Cannonier loss, Robert Whitaker loss. So Kelvin Gastelum, it's just, man, his career's all over the place. He's good. He was decent, but he's definitely coming on the arse end now. Has been in a lot of wars too, so he was a guy who was very good with pressure striking. He used to have some decent takedowns himself. He was a wrestler. But yeah, I think now he's just, yeah, definitely in the arse end. He just didn't look good against Rodriguez in the last fight there. So it'd be interesting with his matchup here because Joey Pyfer's more of a guy. Has a lot of knockouts on his record as well, but he did get found out by Jack Hermanson there. Hermanson did really good on his defense there, and point fight his way to a decision there. So, but yeah, Joey Pyfer's coming up a knockout to win. So, I don't think he's gonna knock Gastelum out. Gastelum will be more guy would try to push forward and point fight his way. I don't know if he will knock Joey Pyfer out, but I think Joey Pyfer will be looking to use his wrestling and try to set up a takedown and get this fight to the ground and control Kelvin Gastelum and get him out of there. He's coming out I'm pretty sure he's in Sean Brady's camp too, so he'll definitely be using some grappling here. Kelvin Gastelum's had some issues there against Sean Brady being taken down controlled. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I don't think Joey Pyfer's going to keep this on the stand up here. I think he will be looking to take this fight to the ground, even try to set up a submission here and some ground and pound against Kelvin Gastelum. I think he's out of it, man. He just doesn't look good at all. So I don't think it'll be a knockout. I think Joey Pyfer will probably get a ground and pound KO. I definitely could see that on the cards. 86% Pyfer, 40% Gastelum. I think Gastelum's done now. Next up, we've got Ronaldo Rodríguez versus Kevin Borjas. This is an interesting matchup. I know a lot of people are overlooking Borjas here, and I'll explain why. Ronaldo Rodríguez is coming off a win streak, right? He went literally 3 rounds of Otto Osborne, and I didn't expect that. I don't think a lot of people expect that. And he had a win against Denise Bonda as well as submission. As much as there's a lot of hype behind him, I don't like the way he comes in. He does throw a lot of leg kicks as well in the pocket. He uses a jab well and the straight shots, but his head movement is really poor. Has been dropped a couple of times in his last fight. Even got dropped against Otto Osborne, which is not a really good look. Like Otto Osborne's got some good striking, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he got dropped too against in that Bonda fight. So his head movement's not that great, but he did well to overcome after getting overcome getting stunned after he got dropped. So he did come back and fought well, Ronaldo Rodríguez. So look, even on if the fight hits the ground, he does decent setting up submissions. Got some good grappling as well. But I'm really skeptical on him constantly getting dropped on the last two fights. Doesn't have the best head movement, so I don't think he's been knocked out either. But I feel like it'll be on the it's coming if he doesn't fix his head movement, and if he's too over aggressive there on the pressure striking, he's definitely going to get KO'd in one of these fights. So I'm a little bit skeptical on Rodriguez. He may not get, he probably won't get KO'd in this fight coming up, but he definitely will when he comes up the rankings. So going against someone like Kelvin Borjas. Kelvin Borjas has some decent striking, but it's very low output as well from him. He's coming off 2 losses there, and he goes leg battered against Costa, and then pretty much dropped onto his back, and then Alexandre Costa finished the fight from the back mount. Got picked apart by Joshua Fan, then had a win in the contender series against Victor Diaz. So two decent contenders there he's gone against and lost against. So, but Kevin Borjas got some decent striking, but yeah, very low output. I just feel like he absorbs a lot of strikes too. So yeah, he got his leg battered there too. And Ronaldo Rodriguez is going to be chopping the leg there of Borjas as well if he hasn't really fixed that up there. I'm checking his leg kick. So yeah, it's an interesting one, this one. It is a 50-50 fight. I just don't like the way Rodriguez gets dropped. Because Kevin Borjas has got some decent boxing, but it's just very low output. I think Rodriguez will be more of a guy throwing a lot more output in this fight compared to Borjas as well. So I will go Rodriguez in this one, 92%, but very low confidence pick because I feel like he's going to get finished in one of these fights. May not be this one, but it'll be definitely one of the ones coming up. So Rodriguez is picked there. Next up, we got Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober, the co-main event. Manuel Torres was coming up on a nice little win streak. He was knocking everyone out. So he had some lot of knockouts and a submission win there. And then he ran into Ignacio Bahamundes, and he got countered by right and got finished. So I did pick Manuel Torres to beat Bahamundes, but now Bahamundes starting to look good. Finished off recently, submitted, what's his name? Jalen Turner. But Jalen Turner, oh, he's mentally checked out as well. That fight against Ronaldo really did kill his confidence, and yeah, he hasn't really the same. So Manuel Torres says more of a guy will push forward, throw a lot of leg kicks, body kicks, and high kicks. He uses jab well, a lot of straight shots. But he's another guy who has his chin up in the air too, so he was going to get knocked out himself too. It happened. So but I feel like with this matchup here, if he doesn't get Drew Dober out of there, Drew Dober is a veteran too, so Drew Dober is more of a go pressure strike, throw some low kicks, some body kicks, and he also looks for some counters, picks his shots, tries to trap his opponents against the cage, and just pressure him the whole fight. Literally keep them on the back foot, and I think that's what he would do to Torres. Maybe in the early rounds, Torres will try to pressure Dober, and Dober will be more better on the defense and picking his shots there. I just hope that he doesn't get finished in this one. I hope his chin's not gone after. Oh, no, his chin will be there. He's been dropped a couple of times. Oh, wait, he got stopped by TKO, that's right. He was getting picked apart by John Silva in this fight too. So, and John Silva was a late notice, so he did pretty well there to beat Drew Dober in a different division too, in the lightweight, I think it was. Lost to Ronaldo, got taken down there against Ronaldo and controlled, and his last win was Ricky Glenn there. Ricky Glenn was trash. So I think Drew Dober is definitely going to be better at controlling the range and picking his shots, using his counters, and I think the second round, I think he will overtake with his pressure. I feel like he just got to be tighten up that defense because I think Manuel Torres will come out and try to finish it, get Dober out of there in the first round, but I think Dober will use his veteran experience and use his defense well and try to overtake the fight and probably even get a KO over Torres. So I think Torres's chin being up in the air so high, I think Dober will find that fucking chin. So Dober with a KO, yeah, 60%, 40% Torres. I'm definitely going to go with Dober. I think the veteran experience will pay off in this fight. Next up, we've got Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. with this matchup here, Brandon Moreno does look a lot better, confident, a lot better there. Looks like he's there, like, to fight. He looked like he was mentally checked out in his last couple of fights. Not to take anything away with Brendan Royval, but Moreno just didn't look like he was there. Pantoja, yeah, he was taken down a fair bit too in that fight. So, but nothing to take away from Pantoja. Pantoja showed that he's a real deal. Had some nice trilogy win against Defeason and had a KO liver kick to Kakara, and that was a close fight until he got that liver kick there. So Moreno's definitely you could call him a veteran. He's still young, only 31 years old. He does use the jab well. He tucks his chin in nicely as well. Uses defense really well there. Very good on throwing the low kick. So he did that well there against Albazi. Uses range really well against Albazi and picked him apart with the striking there. Through the leg kicks well there, and he's very good. Moreno's got some underrated takedowns as well, so I think he will be using that against Erceg here in this fight. Look, Steve Erceg is good too. Like, he was coming up and knocking everyone out, but if you see the quality of opponents, Dvorak was alright. I don't think Dvorak's even fighting anymore. Alexandre Costa, there was a nice win there. And knocked out Chanel, but Chanel gets knocked out by everyone, and he's coming back. He did retire, now he's coming back. I don't know why. And then lost to Pantoja. Kind of jumped the rankings a bit there to fight against Pantoja, but did well. A lot of people thought Pantoja lost and Erceg won. It was a close fight, but I think Pantoja's takedowns and the control was definitely key in that fight. And fighting in Brazil and having a close fight, you ain't gonna win. When you're in Erceg's shoes, you gotta dominate the champion, being in their backyard too. That's pretty much how it's been working since in the UFC lately. So, Kai Kara France got knocked out. So, I think with this one, Erceg, I think he's gonna struggle against the top 5 here. Look, he did have a close fight against Pantoja, but being a veteran like Moreno, I think he's gonna use his jab well and control the range. And I think Erceg's gonna have some issues getting into that pocket there with Moreno. Moreno, I feel like he's going to be the bigger guy too, so he does have a better reach too. 7 reach, 6'8", with Erceg, 5'7" height too. They're both pretty similar in height. 1 inch goes to Erceg there, 5'8". Yeah, I think Erceg's going to have some issues getting in that pocket there. Like, he'll probably find his way, try to get throw a lot of leg kicks. He'll probably use some grappling as well, but I think Moreno, he's not gonna do too much damage against Moreno there on the grappling there. So, you know, if he tries to put him against the fence and throw some knees and whatnot, I don't think it's gonna work. I think Moreno's is gonna be a big opponent for Erceg as well. We've seen that he got chinned pretty well there against Kai Kara, so yeah, I don't think Erceg's gonna win this fight, man. I really think he don't. Even if he tries to grapple, like I said, grapple, I don't think it's gonna work. So I think he's gonna be the smaller guy as well compared to Moreno in this fight. So Moreno's got a good jab and very good in throwing leg kicks and mixing it up with takedowns, and I think he's gonna have his way. I think Erceg's gonna struggle to get into that pocket there, and even if he does, he may. I think he's gonna have a hard time in this fight, to be honest. So Erceg 19%. Moreno 81. I'm gonna go Moreno. I think he's too good at controlling the range. And his IQ's gonna be too good as well. Mix up takedowns, and he's just a veteran in this matchup here compared to Erceg. So if we have a confident Moreno like we had against Albazi, he's definitely gonna win. If we're gonna have the Moreno that pulled up against Royval, Erceg could get the win, but again, I think Moreno will be fine. I think he'll get this match a win against Erceg. But anyways, those are my picks for this card here. Hope you guys enjoy the breakdowns. Yeah, we'll be back next week with Emmett versus Murphy, full card. Back at the Apex, so you might see a lot of Contender Series fighters on there. You're going to see a lot of new names and whatnot. So it is an Apex after all. But it's got a decent main event, so that's all I wouldn't say that's all that counts, but there's some decent fights on there. Anyways, guys, hit the like, subscribe. We'll be back next week. Take care, stay safe, and yeah, take care.